Hello everyone, my name is Eric and I am from How to University. And today I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 things that I wish I knew going into Queen's Computer Science. So throughout my first year of university, I definitely did learn a lot of things. And here I'm going to talk to you about what those things are, and maybe you'll come across these kinds of situations and then later on understand that this would be the best fit for you. So the first thing that I wish I knew is to join as many clubs and executive teams as soon as you can. It's especially important to get that experience because that's what leads you into getting hired for internships, and without them, you don't have any experience during these hiring periods. One thing that I started doing was I reached out to others around my classes and saw what are the best clubs to get into. And by the time that it actually came to that, I was through my second or third week, and I was in the situation where I was still figuring out how to finish making my resume. So I ended up reaching out to the last club that was available, and that was QHack's executive team. And the position was for a first-year representative. I actually got the position, and it was super fun. We got to do a bunch of work. We got to learn about different fields. They had us shuffle through different fields that were part of the planning process. Working in those positions got me to network with a lot of other people. And I actually got to work on creating the infrastructure of the event's handle and their panel on Discord. So clubs all around were able to boost me to where I am today, to make those friends and bring great opportunities to meet new people, socialize, and learn a lot about your own field. The second thing I would recommend is to set a schedule for yourself that would help you manage your time. And I would say I wish I did this earlier because I started to lose track of things in the beginning of school. One thing I like to do is use an agenda app that you could share with others. So that way, if you have friends in your classes, you can manage working with that. It is great to have Notion to be able to work together on a day-to-day basis. I recommend keeping a task list and scheduling what you're going to be working on during the week. For the third thing I wish I knew about, there is a mathematics class that is called Discrete Mathematics, or Proofs, in computer science and software engineering. This is the class, at least in Queens and other universities such as U of T and York, that have been the class that most people have trouble with and struggle with. Discrete mathematics plays a huge role in computer science throughout many fields such as cryptography, algorithms, computer networks, and system development. If you don't know what some or any of these terms mean, do not worry. This is what you'll eventually learn as you continue your studies in different courses throughout your program. You can view this class as an understanding of mathematical languages in computer science. So I'll start with the introductory problem that I received jumping into the first class. Let's say we have 6 people named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They all shake hands with each other once. So how many handshakes are there throughout the entire exchange? There are 2 answers based on what you define as a handshake. If 1 shakes hands with 2 and 2 shakes hands with 1, does that count as only 1 handshake or 2 handshakes? Let's assume it counts as 1 handshake. Drop your comments below on how many times people shake hands with each other. I know throughout my first term going through discrete mathematics, it was a little difficult. However, I'm sure you can get through it with the right amount of practice because it's definitely one of those classes that you can prove how much you can do based on how much you practice. So most of my classes throughout the year did take a lot of focus on quite a few mathematics courses and as well as programming courses, which is why I'm bringing the fourth thing that I wish I knew. It is best to focus on doing practice problems as soon as you can to be up to date with the material. Do not start practicing close to the test. I definitely did get backed into a corner quite a few times when I did have those easy weeks and the only thing I had to do was those practice questions, and I would kind of lay those back because I would say to myself, oh, I can focus on doing other things that aren't necessarily focused to school. However, it is definitely important to jump on those practice problems. One thing I also want to say is that it's definitely important to practice and understand these fundamentals rather than memorizing them, because I would say it's definitely more efficient to actually be able to understand them, and you will do better on tests because you're able to work with curveballs and different types of questions. So if there's ever a situation where you don't understand a specific part, it would be best to ask questions after class as well as learn these things by yourself. It'll allow you to refresh your brain with ingesting all the material rather than having to cram it last minute because you prioritized other classes. And for the final thing, the fifth thing that I wish I knew before going into Queen's University would be to take a course or two that is away from your own field. I personally love computer science, and I'm more than sure of my decision in following this path, but it's also good to avoid tiring myself out with all this material. And it really helped with having the time to look at something that wasn't just what I was doing school for. I kind of went off and studied music and geology as my two electives, and I thought it was pretty fun. I would have liked to move geology or music in the first term, so that way it was a little more balanced, but that's something that you can think about. One of the best things to do in this process where you don't know what kind of courses you want to take as an elective is to Google the university course code and try find a syllabus from a previous year. Sometimes a class can sound really cool and exciting, but once you actually get into it, it may be a little difficult or something that you weren't looking into. So looking at the syllabus will actually help you understand on what you actually enjoy and see if it fits your learning style, and see if you can work around it with your own courses. So if you got to the end of this video, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow How to University and subscribe below, turn on those notifications and like the video. And I will see you in How to University's next video.